Welcome to Through the Drama. Kris Harrison and Lauren Zima coming to you on this Monday, July 4th week, a big holiday week coming up this Friday.
And it means it was a big week for the movies. I love it. I really do. This is, as a movie lover, we have Jurassic World coming out this week and F1 last week. And we went to
big summer blockbusters.
Yes. And I was so happy to report that F1 does not disappoint everybody.
Thank you.
This is now how we talk about movies. Did you hate it? No, actually we loved it. We went to see F1 over the weekend, took the kids. It was a great movie. I mean, maybe not a family movie for the little ones, but like teenagers and above. You could take everybody to see it. It's not super violent or sexual or any of those things. And it's just a feel-good movie.
It was just exciting for the first time in a very long time. And again, I hate that that's where our bar is that you just said. We weren't mad when we left the theater. But the fact that from our 21-year-old daughter up to me, an older male, we all loved it. Everybody took a little something different from it, but we all really loved the movie. It
was funny. It had good action. I was a little worried it was going to be too car heavy.
Too racy.
I'd leave with a headache from all the engine revving. And I'm not really, you've watched Drive to Survive on Netflix, which has made everybody get into F1. I didn't watch it, so I was a little worried I'd be confused. They do a really good job of explaining the racing without it being boring.
Yeah, I think the timing couldn't be better, though, because of Drive to Survive and just the global reach of F1 now as a sport and the popularity of it all. The movie itself did $144 million at the box office, absolutely dominated domestically, foreign, all around the world. This is by far Apple's most expensive venture. Some people say it's a $200 million movie. The rumors and the truth is probably it's a $300 million movie. The truth is beyond that, the marketing and everything else, it's close to a $400 million movie. So it will, but with that said, it will recoup that.
I am really impressed by Apple because one critique I've had of streamers is that they don't know how to make good movies, that they don't give good notes creatively. But they had Joseph Kosinski, the director, on this one. The pacing is great. I can't say it enough. Go see F1. It was a little escapist, like took me to some beautiful places where the races happen. Brad Pitt is looking good. It was funny. I got emotional at one point. I teared up at one point. It was everything movies are supposed to be.
You know, one cool thing they did as far as making money, and I kind of noticed this, but didn't think about it. They actually sold real naming rights on Brad Pitt's car in his. So, you know, Geico, Mercedes, they made another $50 million by actually selling ads for the fake racing company that was in this movie.
There was a little old school thing called product placement.
Yeah, no, it was brilliant.
You know, you used to watch an episode of Friends and Joey would be eating Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, and I get the product placement. I've been a part of it myself for 20 years of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, but just genius that, you know, they had this fake racing team, but they sold real ads for the fake racing team, and not a bad idea to get your ad on Brad Pitt.
Well, I think more than ever, we're turning to our old school movie stars to save movies. We had mentioned on the show before that Tom Cruise came out to support F1 at the premiere in London. Well, Tom Cruise also tweeted about F1 over the weekend. If we can pull his tweet up, he gave congrats to the movie and he celebrated the anniversary of Days of Thunder. Came out 35 years ago this year. Of course, that was his racing movie. Now, here's what's funny.
Cole Trickle.
And this is that the name of his character?
That was his character's
I've
name.
actually never seen Days of Thunder. Well, you know what? Then you can tell me if you think it's worth a sequel, because
100%.
What is coming out now is that the director, Joseph Kosinski, who also just did the most recent Mission Impossible movie, he's saying he wants to...
He did Top Gun Maverick.
I'm so sorry. He did Top Gun Maverick. Sorry, Tom Cruise, too many sequels, too little time. So he wants to do a Days of Thunder sequel / F1 crossover.
I love this.
Which would be the movie we've been hoping for, that Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise would reunite in. That's what we want, I guess. Are you excited for this? Days of Thunder F1 crossover?
So first of all, I think Joseph Kosinski might be the big star in all this. He did Top Gun Maverick, and he has this kind of formula where he has aging kind of guys getting older, huge tentpole rock star actors, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, but these are kind of reluctant hero movies. So it's very simple. These formulas, Top Gun, Maverick, and F1 is essentially the same movie, but with Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and fighter pilots in F1 racing.
Just trade out the plane for the car. What's next? Top Gun sailing.
So you have not quite as we're going 5 knots. But I do like the fact that you have this stock car racer, which was a different type of racing than F1. You have an aging Tom Cruise, this reluctant hero. And now you have Brad Pitt, the F1 driver. They battle each other. I kind of like this.
I think that there's something real here because they're planting the seeds. You know, they're talking, could we reunite Brad and Tom? And now he has this idea. Although before that, he might have to make Top Gun 3. Kaczynski doing press also telling GQ, this is a new quote, Top Gun 3 really is happening. It seems they have an idea. He says in Top Gun 3, Maverick will have, quote, an existential crisis of sorts.
Can you explain that to me? I don't understand what that means.
An existential crisis? Well, I mean, I'm in one. We've been in it.
No, I understand that. It's like that's such a weird, vague idea for a movie.
Well, he probably doesn't want to give anything away. I will say existential crisis doesn't make me want to race to the theaters. Right. I'm kind of going to Top Gun to escape. But he also said that it's going to be bigger than himself. And wait for it. He said, there's still one more story to tell for him, for Maverick. There's one last ride. Does that sound a little familiar? Sound a little bit like Mission Impossible? Mission Impossible.
Trust me, one more time.
So I think you've hit the nail on the head that these guys have figured out a formula that is working. And to be honest, Tom Cruise is 63. Brad's in his early 60s. I don't know when they'll end it, but they do know we got to give people a few more one last rides.
And they've only been in one movie together, Interview with the Vampire. And so will anybody be angry if Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are on the big screen together at the same time? The answer is no. When we come back, LZ, there was a wedding over the weekend. I don't know if anybody heard about that Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding, but we'll dive in next.
Welcome back to Through the Drama. Well, everybody, Venice is sinking, as is the bar for a celebrity wedding. It's right down in the depths of the water, below the floor, and we're all drowning in it. So Jeff Bezos, the multi-billionaire many times over, and Lauren Sanchez got married over the weekend.
Yes.
And
in Venice, Italy.
In Venice, Italy. And, you know, I was actually defending them a little bit last week.
Right.
I was wrong.
Well, because people were protesting the $50 million wedding that they were taking over a lot of Venice.
Do I think that there should have been protests? No, but I'm now so burnt out on this wedding and everything that came with it that I won't be defending them here today. I'll tell you that. So the wedding happened. It all went down. Celebrity guests like Oprah, the Kardashians. We will discuss that a little bit more later. But first, let's talk about the wedding itself. In Venice, rumor has it that it's somewhere up to $50 million in cost. Yeah. Only about 200 guests, intimate. But what we didn't know last week, if we can pull that picture up again, is that they would be on the cover of Vogue. That Lauren Sanchez in this wedding dress she wore would make the cover of Vogue. And this actually is kind of taken to the wedding to the next level of cringeworthy, I think, and sort of shock, actually, from me. The cover of Vogue simply says, "Here comes the bride, Lauren Sanchez Bezos." Now, I was a magazine journalism major. When you're studying magazine design, okay, there's other stories, of course. Everybody knows what a magazine cover looks like. Multiple stories teased on the cover. There's nothing else teased on that cover.
It's just her.
It's just, "Here comes the bride, Lauren Sanchez Bezos." What? She's not Grace Kelly. She's not Princess Diana. She's not a beloved princess of the people. She's not a beloved movie star who's given us her talents in film over the years and grown a fandom. I don't understand this cover. And
she had some good years at KTLA in LA. Is that not, that doesn't get it done? I want to dive into the Vogue cover and the article and everything that's come with it, because a lot of rumors now, since last week when she made the cover of Vogue, Vogue's iconic editor of Anna Wintour, of 37 years, Anna Wintour, announced she's stepping down from her position. This has the rumor mill online having people wonder, did Anna Wintour quit Vogue over this cover? Well, you do wonder what it took from Jeff Bezos to get Lauren Sanchez that cover.
Right?
Clearly money, influence, power, because as you said, it's not the stardom that did it. It is clearly something more than that, right?
I can't think of the wife of a CEO ever being on the cover of Vogue before.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
And
but
a solo cover where it is just her.
She's not the first lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really can't figure it out. So let's talk about they first of all, obviously, let's bring up that picture of them with the kiss again. They come in for this wedding in Venice. What I loved was they kept waving to people like as if they have fans. And when you're this wealthy, one thing that's rubbing me the wrong way, they could have done something private. They could have gone anywhere and had a wedding in the mountains of Montana that no one would have seen. They did choose Venice. I can't defend them on that. They chose a place where cameras and paparazzi would be everywhere. And I've seen People magazine articles where sources tell us, guys, the source is them. I'm sorry, it is. They wanted the press out of this wedding. Right? Did that strike you?
Well, I mean, yeah, when you consider the guest list of, Usher, Tom Brady, Ellie Goulding, Kim Kardashian, Kris Jenner, Kendall Jenner, Sydney Sweeney, Orlando Bloom, Oprah, Leo, Tom Brady. Yeah, there's going to be some
They wanted a moment.
Yes. My question to you is in a couple of things. I want to ask you if you even like the dress. But number two, my big question overall is, I wonder if they had a good time. We recently got married, going on 2 years, but the most important thing was A, we don't want strangers at our wedding, and B, we really want to have a good time. I wonder if they enjoyed their wedding.
What makes you think they didn't?
I just, with all of this celebrity, all these people, are your friends there?
Well, look, there were only 200 people, and maybe they really are friends with these people. But I think if what you wanted was a moment, was attention, then that's what they got. So maybe they had a good time because that's what they wanted. You brought up the dress, and the dress is causing major
Dolce
controversy.
And there was obviously the sleeveless gown there, 180 chiffon covered buttons.
You mean sleeved? Very long sleeved gown.
But 180 chiffon buttons, 900 hours to put this baby together.
So she said she actually changed her mind. This is one of my favorite quotes from the Vogue article. I will tell you.
This is in Vogue.
You'd be shocked by how many times her flight to space, how many times space gets brought up in this article. Space somehow shaped her wedding. Space was her wedding planner. Blue Origin was the events company behind this wedding, apparently. But she said that after she went to space, she changed her thinking about her dress. She changed her wedding dress after space. She shifted away from a modern strapless silhouette to a more timeless and referential idea. So it was based on this very famous dress that Sophia Loren wore in the movie Houseboat with Cary Grant. It's kind of almost a carbon copy of the dress. And what that says to me is, why is this person on the cover of Vogue? Vogue is about style. If you're basically saying copy paste on a famous dress, why are you a fashion icon on the cover of Vogue? You know what I mean? Like Grace Kelly's dress became this dress that people copied forever. Grace Kelly deserves to be on the cover of Vogue, not the person who's like, I want to be Grace Kelly. So, the dress has caused a lot of controversy, a lot of people not loving it, some people saying it's great, but her something blue. What do you think it was?
I can't even. Blue Origin.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had no idea. I'm just guessing here. Blue Origin.
Something borrowed, something blue, she said. Or something blue, quote, well, Blue Origin, it's something from my space flight. I can't believe this is in Vogue, okay? She says it was one of the most profound experiences of her life, that it changed her forever, seeing Earth from space. On the one hand, sure. But on the other hand, I will say this. I think a problem with becoming this wealthy is no matter how nice of a person you are, you lose your grasp on reality. You have to. When you're this wealthy, you're not living in the normal world. And if you have to pay for an experience that you did nothing to achieve, and that's what changes your life, I don't think that's a real, like that's something to look in the mirror about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's go help kids somewhere.
Well, and the way this works for people that, are listening or watching is, you hire the publicists, you hire the team, they laid all this out. And then as a client, Lauren Sanchez says, well, one thing I want the cover of Vogue. It's like, I don't want just the cover of People magazine. I want the cover of Us. I want the cover of Vogue. And that is something that your people have to go out and obtain. This wasn't like Vogue thought, oh yeah, let's do this and let's put her on the cover. Clearly, probably not. And Anna Wintour maybe have walked away from Vogue because of it. But that is something that your people obtain. So that's what you're saying is this wasn't Princess Diana.
She
something
says
that we all revere and respect. And
right. It wasn't that Vogue was, I don't think Vogue was chasing her on this one. She also says in the article to the writer, Chloe, the last time we talked, I was just about to go to space. She brings up space so many times.
One of the things that struck me is how many times she would start the sentence with the word like.
Okay, so there's this video. We'll show it on screen here, and I'll just read you what she says. Of course, Vogue did some video content from this shoot, and she says, quote, Lauren Sanchez says, I'm just like so emotional. Yeah, it's emotional. I'm going to be a mess, but in the best possible way. If you're being interviewed by Vogue and what you've got to say is, I'm just like so emotional to Vogue. I was also a little struck by this because she is 55. Yeah. And I don't know her, but I would imagine, I would hope she's an intelligent woman. It sounded a little bit to me like she's sort of talking in this play acting way, like she's in her 20s. And this whole wedding was treated like it was your first wedding. She says in the video, I feel like a princess. That's what you say when you're 21.
The dress was a mermaid-inspired dress.
I feel like a princess. Yeah. I want to be a princess. So the Vogue, after reading the article start to finish, I now do firmly believe Anna Wintour stepped down over this article. I really do. I'm actually on board with the conspiracy theories.
I'm just excited because Anna Wintour stepped down means we now have, for sure, a Devil Wears Prada sequel. We have the next chapter.
Oh, they are making the sequel. Yeah. Actually, what if they change the script of the sequel based on this? Yeah. Because it is in the works.
I think you have to.
All right, when we come back.
Oh, I'm excited about this.
We haven't gotten to some of the most gossipy parts of this wedding, and it's the other celebrities who were there, not the ones who paid to be on the cover of Vogue. Does Sydney Sweeney have a new boyfriend? You won't believe who it is when we come back. We are back, and we're back with a little gossip.
Yeah, well, look, we're done talking about Lauren Sanchez and Jeff Bezos, but we're not done with the wedding because maybe the biggest star of them all right now, Sydney Sweeney, she was the star of this wedding. She stole the wedding. There may have been a little episode of The Bachelorette going on. Sydney Sweeney, famously single now, and there were two bachelors in particular that were seen around her, and rumors are flying. I think hope is flying. Orlando Bloom, rumored to be newly single from Katy Perry.
No, it's confirmed.
And Tom Brady.
Okay.
The GOAT, the greatest of all time. Orlando Bloom, Tom Brady seen around Sydney Sweeney. This is the tea.
I'm so sorry that I stepped on your Tom Brady reveal there. That was on me. I just am so concerned with this is a big deal. We didn't even really say it yet. Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry broke up over the weekend, ended their engagement.
We talked about it on our last show.
Yes, but it was kind of rumored then, and it seems official now that they've ended their engagement after 9 years together. And TMZ was right. Orlando Bloom showed up single to this Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding. And TMZ, of course, published paparazzi photos.
Yes.
Now, the photo's a little quirky to me. Sydney Sweeney ended her engagement with this chef some time ago. She'd been rumored to maybe be dating Glenn Powell. Well, maybe now, not. This paparazzi photo shows Sydney Sweeney, Tom Brady, and Orlando Bloom like walking around Venice together.
It was a group. It was a 2-on-1 date.
Do you think they were hanging out, or is it just Venice is so small and they're guests of the wedding and they happen to be walking down the street?
I think they hung out together.
Okay.
But the rumor was that Sydney Sweeney was dancing. She was the star. Everybody wanted to come up to her during the wedding. She danced until 2 a.m. with Tom Brady.
Oh, you have some reporting I didn't see.
And so they spent a lot of time together. The best quote, I love this quote from a fan that was online, said, Tom Brady already has everything. If he gets Sydney Sweeney, he will become too powerful and may be our only chance of beating AI. Great. By the way, great take. If there is a couple that, do the kids still say ship? Are we shipping relationships? Is that done? Is that dead? I ship this. Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. Sydney Sweeney, the up and coming biggest star in Hollywood.
Do not.
Absolutely, yes.
I do not ship this. No, I don't ship her with either of them, to be honest with you. I think Tom Brady's got a lot of baggage. Okay. I mean,
I will say one thing I'm worried about with Tom Brady. He's starting to kind of get this vampire look. I don't know what peptides and serums and things, or if he's just drinking tears of young children. I don't know what his secret is.
Don't feel the conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, I don't know. But there's just something, Tom Brady's just, his skin is getting tighter and tighter.
We don't believe in the, anyway, but what I definitely don't want to see though, if you ask me between these two,
Yes.
definitely not Orlando Bloom. Like, first of all, he's fresh off a breakup. And what kind of bums me out about this is Orlando Bloom, if you remember from pre-Katy Perry days, really had a Playboy reputation. Like, I think he dated Selena Gomez for a while, if you remember that. And she was like a lot younger and there were rumors he didn't treat her well. And I feel like Orlando Bloom is moving back into Playboy area. And Sydney Sweeney is like, a talented, gorgeous businesswoman. Remember, she's not just acting, she's producing, she's creating film. Sydney, we don't have time for Orlando. No. We need someone who's on your same level right now.
So no Tom Brady either.
Well, if you ask me between the two, I'd want her to date Tom Brady, but I really want her and Glenn Powell to be a thing. I have to admit.
That would be the modern day, just the two biggest stars, the two biggest rising stars in Hollywood.
I want one of those relationships to believe in again. Like when years ago it was Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez. Before that it was Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake. Like, I want a couple to come out of a movie.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a couple. I guess Tom Cruise has had some of those, but those relationships.
What?
Where they just marry a leading lady. And I was trying to think, when was the last time we had a leading man and a leading lady?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Well, the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding, I don't know. I'm not here to defend it, but I will say this. It's the gift that keeps on giving, just from a conversation standpoint. We will have so much more to talk to you all with about tomorrow, including the new potential James Bond. That will be a topic of discussion. And the movie that we didn't know would get a sequel, but it could expose everything we've been worried about with social media. We'll have all that for you tomorrow on Through the Drama.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We will see you tomorrow when we do it all again, every weekday right here on Merit or wherever podcasts can be found. Have a great day.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. My network, MeritTV, has it all.
Now, let me blow your mind.
Merit TV's got the news that matters.
The selection of a new pope.
Entertainment you crave.
Busted.
Everybody in a good mood today?
And live events.
Surprise.
What am I, chopped liver?
With serious punch.
Big shot.
Go to MeritTV.com and download the Merit TV app today.